Hi, this is just a quick announcement and apology. I was going to post this video sooner, but needless to say, stuff happened and I had to take a short break. Anyway, I'm back and I'll be posting more videos real soon. Also, this video is dedicated to Ryan Jesse Payumo and Davis King Costamero. Yes, they made a tabletop RPG out of that game we played back during our review. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin. These colors have traveled to distant worlds under distant stars, and returned time and again to see new regiments founded beneath it. You each have sworn to uphold the legacy of these colors, and now you go forth into his Imperium as the Brontian Longknives 32nd Aegir Color Brontian Defense Force. So, we've already seen quite a bit, haven't we? We've been to the Calixis sector, a place rife with corruption and internal struggles. We've adventured in the vastness of the Coronis expanse in search of great treasures and even greater challenges. Then we've discovered what it means to be a hero of the Imperium of Man and defender of humanity in Deathwatch, where we saw the Space Marines fighting off the threats of the Jericho Reach. After that, we got to know a bit more, a little too much though if you ask me, about the life and times of traitors and heretics who have turned to the ruinous powers for a chance to gain an advantage over their enemies in the screaming vortex. This time, however, I'm going to introduce you to something else. A callback, if anything, to the roots of Warhammer 40,000. However, before that, if you happen to like my content, please feel free to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell for notifications. Hi, hello, and welcome again to another episode of Natural Juan. Get up, trooper! It is 0500! The Tyranids are trying to knock over our front gate, and Chaos cultists are busy sabotaging our remaining defenses. Get your last gun in the armory and put on your flak armor, because the enemy will be here any minute now. So get ready, because you're not in some farm tending the grocks. You're in the Imperial Guard, and we're marching into the Spinward Front. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 5th entry in the Warhammer 40,000 roleplay game lines, Only War. In previous videos, we explored what it meant to be a common citizen of the Imperium, a wealthy explorer, a noble and legendary hero to a vile and grotesque villain. Now though, we're going back to the roots of Warhammer 40,000 in Only War, where we join the Astra Militarum, better known as the Imperial Guard, in the vast battlefields of the 41st millennium. Again, much like the previous game lines like Dark Heresy, Rogue Trader, Deathwatch, and Black Crusade, Only War requires, at a minimum, the core rulebook, paper and pencils or pens for recording your adventures, 2 10-sided dice per player, and, most importantly, your imagination and math skills. The game runs on a percentile dice system where you use 2 10-sided dice to generate a number from 00, which counts as 100, to 99. The result is then compared to an existing value and is considered a success if lower and a failure if higher. For example, if the target number is 55, 48 would be a success while 62 would be a failure. Only War also incorporates the degrees of success mechanic, wherein the more 10s you have in a given result, the more bonuses or penalties you gain. For instance, with a 62 as the target number, rolling a 30 means you get 3 degrees of success, while 85 has 2 degrees of failure. Now, to put things into perspective, troopers of the Imperial Guard, unlike the superhuman Adeptus Astartes or Space Marines, are just basic humans. They are recruited from various planets throughout the galaxy from many different backgrounds. They are sometimes recruited from noble families and inducted into officer training in order to bring the family more honor and prestige. Other times they are conscripted from the teeming poor of a world, sent into battle to die in order to free up resources for the next generation. But most are average citizens of the Imperium, sent to train for combat and deployed into far-flung war zones as a tithe to the Imperium of Man. They are sent in with the barest minimum of weapons and protection, such as the last gun, which is simply a laser rifle that can be charged easily, and the flak vest, which is enough to stop normal gunpowder weapons. That said, most of the Imperium of Man often have more devastating weaponry such as the bolter weapons, which make use of mini rockets primarily used by Space Marines, Sisters of Battle, and Chaos Space Marines, the splinter weapons used by the Dark Eldar which are imbued with deadly or incapacitating chemicals, the Necrons with their armor-destroying Gauss weapons, and the oddly powerful weapons used by the Orcs. The Imperial Guardsmen more than make up for this deficiency with their will to survive, their utterly overwhelming numbers, and their access to vehicles and artillery. Starting out in Only War is very similar to that of starting in any other Warhammer 40,000 roleplay game line, wherein you must generate your character's characteristics from weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength, toughness, agility, perception, intelligence, willpower, and fellowship. Weapon skill is your ability with melee weapons, ballistic skill is your talent with ranged weapons, strength is how physically powerful your character is, toughness is how resilient they are, agility represents their speed, perception is their ability to sense their surroundings, intelligence is your character's academic acumen, willpower is about your character's resistance against social and psychic attack, and fellowship refers to social skills and communication. The only variation this time is that Only War includes a comrade mechanic where you are partnered with an NPC who more or less serves as your sidekick. Looking after this comrade of yours can grant you bonuses so they serve more purposes than just being a meat shield for your character. Make no mistake though, as this game is extremely lethal and you will find yourself rolling character after character as you face greater and greater challenges. This game really sets the tone for the war-torn era of the 41st millennium, where death seems to be a constant companion and just about anyone can die at any time. When you've finished with the basics, you must then select a regiment for your character. This means selecting a planet where your character hails from. The selection for regiments in the core rulebook is quite diverse. You may select the hard-as-nails Cadian shock troops who are well known for their resilience and dedication to combat. There are the Rambo-inspired Catachans with their powerful physiques and jungle combat expertise. There's also the Tallarn Desert Raiders who are somewhat inspired by the Fremen of the Dune franchise with their quasi-Arabic theme and penchant and skill for desert combat. Then you've got the emotionless and questionably human Death Corps of Krieg with their gas masks, specialization in trench warfare, and their handy-dandy combat shovels. And these are just 4 examples, with more in the core rulebook and even more in supplemental books. After that, you must select your character's career from the heavy gunner who operates rocket launchers and anti-tank las cannons, the medic who assists injured or dying characters, the operators who drives the powerful tanks and other vehicles of the Imperium, the tech priests who maintain the weapons and machinery of the Imperial Guard, and the commissar whose job it is to inspire the troops to fight with greater ferocity by shooting cowards, just to name a few. Then you also have the option to choose a vehicle for you and your squad, be it the all-purpose Lehman Russ tank, the versatile Chimera transport, and the devastating Basilisk artillery. It's time to dive into the Spinward Front, the setting of Warhammer 40,000 Only War. It is a place currently locked in a war after a local planetary governor has decided to rebel against the Imperium of Man due to a number of issues. That said, while the said governor has a disadvantage against the full might of the Imperium of Man, other threats have also appeared or have been attracted to the chaos and destruction caused by the governor's forces. With Chaos forces showing up to take advantage of the region's vulnerability, Dark Eldar making a deal with the governor for personal gain, and you better believe that they have plans of their own, and the orcs are popping up like mushrooms after a rainstorm to steal everything. Anyway, that's it for this episode of Natural Juan. I really hope you enjoyed this short presentation of Warhammer 40,000 Only War, and the introduction to the life and times of the Imperial Guard, better known as the Astra Militarum. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and share it with your friends. Also, if you want more stuff like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. This is Natural Juan bidding you all a good one and see you in the next video.